On this particular episode, I wanted to talk about this story, and I think a lot of people would benefit a little just from talking about it. Y'all guys know Phillip. Phillip Banda, former spiritual son of TB Joshua, recently had some posts online that many people might not even think too much of, but I wanted to talk about them as far as I know them. If I make errors, do alert me down in the comment section. But I want to talk about it as far as I know it. So for most of us who are not at Phillip Banda's church, or who were not there for too long, we might not understand this particular line of the story. So Prophet Phillip Banda recently posted some stuff on their Facebook page about the passing of a lady by the name of Mama Daphne, right, as she is known in the church. In their post about her, actually, they do mention, mother to many, or seen as a mother to many. They'll be holding a memorial service, as you might actually think. But the fascinating part of this particular story is that they posted a video later on, and I want to talk about what's in that video. You guys can go check out the video after, but I want to talk about what that video does, or what it talks about, or what it says, which I find very sad. People who are unbelievers, you can only feel sad for them, because I don't believe these people are believers. I don't believe that. Doesn't mean they are not. I don't believe it. So I don't associate myself with people like that, because I don't believe these people are saved, because the things they do make me question, why would a person be like this? Now, before I go any further, it's the Reality Show with the daily Christian commentary videos. Welcome to this episode. Other episodes done today, they'll be down in the pinned comments, and I'm going to check you out on the other episodes, so check them out down in the pinned comments. So, thank you very much to the leadership that sent me the story and the angle that they gave me of, they sent me some stuff. They didn't know that would be kind of like the thing that I would pick at. They just sent me like, hey, there's this thing that happened. This is who this person is, and so forth, talking about Mama Daphne over there. And for me, it crafted a different story or a different narrative, and I want to talk about that. And I hope this video is not a bad take for the family. And if it is so, they can send me a message and I'll remove it. Okay? But the family, the others, you can take a hike. But for the family, if the family feels I've taken the story on a bad light, I will happily remove the episode. So Mama Daphne was a very devoted, a staunch follower of Phillip Banda. Now, why is that important to say? Because Phillip Banda, at the early parts, didn't look like he was getting involved with the passing. And this, for me, okay, I'm going to say this clear. For me, comes from a few things. I'll remind you. You see, this is the pamphlet that you see on their Facebook page. I'm on their Facebook page right now. As a matter of fact, they did post a smaller video. I'm going to come back to that video just in a second. And so they posted that pamphlet over there. And that pamphlet, the reason why I say I don't think they were getting involved with the passing of this lady, I'll tell you who she is and why that's a problem, and why you should think twice before you devote your entire life to these people. The reason why I say I don't think they were getting involved is because of this right here. You see, this was the pamphlet that initially was out. Okay? The pamphlet shows a different location. The third so-and-so freeway park. You might see that over there. So That's the pamphlet. That's the first pamphlet. Now, that's not a public pamphlet. That's not a pamphlet you're seeing there, but it's a different pamphlet altogether. The memorial service as well, if you actually go in there, you will actually see that something changed. And so if this particular thing was done by the family, if that previous one was made by the family, I would assume that this is the one that the family then made later on, because you can see which one the church chose to post. This time with a different address, right? With a different address, it says Boxback this time. Okay, so this probably came from the family. Like the pamphlets that you see probably came from the family, and the one that the church is using, or the one that the church decided to post, which is let me close off this, which is this particular one right here, shows which one the church made. Okay, so it's a different one to the one that they posted. And here you can see the address that then gets posted down there. It's the Boxback address, showing the ministry was not getting involved in this lady's entire thing. And maybe it caught up with them that, hey, you know what, might not be a good idea, we might want to get involved, and then they finally did. I will explain why it's important, particularly for this lady. Okay, I'm gonna be very clear, particularly for Mama Daphne over here. And I'm gonna go back to that video that I said they posted over there, and why for me I don't associate myself with some of these churches, because I don't consider them saved. So I keep my distance. If they are saved, God knows. I don't consider them saved, so I don't get involved over there. At least they taint my walk. Mama Daphne was a very staunch follower of this man, of Phillip Banda. Not only was she a staunch follower of Phillip Banda, she was one person who was very instrumental when he got here in the registration of his church being a non-profit. Now you understand why the story touches a different way. It's because she was a staunch follower, and also one of the people that the church should care when she passes. It means something. A person like that, who was there at that point. Now, the reason why I'm saying that as well is that they posted this message that I want to show right here. This message. So that video that I said they posted, Bazalani, go watch this video. Do them a favor. Don't comment. You don't have to comment. Just go watch it. They posted this thing on the 22nd, right? They posted that on the 22nd and so forth. And they posted that on the 22nd, which is just a few days from the time when she had actually passed on, right? And so I highlight that so that people can understand. They took time. They took their time. You're organizing. You're trying to set out things. You literally have 7 days or so, to do your burials and stuff like that in South Africa. That's how we kind of... And the message they chose, you can see here they actually refer to her as Pastor Daphne. Okay? Hey, Basalan, the story kind of touches... this story touches me a bit of a different way. Mama Daphne lost her husband a little bit earlier on. In this video that they posted of her right here, being a pastor of the church, I'll come back to the 4th minute, which you see there. In the earlier parts of that video, they showed this picture right here. I don't know. I think she's with her husband there. I'm not sure exactly. That video, which is a commemorative video posted by the church, does not contain family. Yeah, you heard me correctly. The pictures that they show in that video, no one was family. It's not family. It's church people. Now, I'll repeat that. Just for some people, some people might be so brainwashed that they don't realize. Like, this is a video that's showcasing the kind of a person she was, embracing. Now remember, she was isolated. This is what these churches do. They isolate you from family. And so they show pictures of her in church, pictures of what? Pictures, no family pictures or nothing like that, because they had completely removed her. When her husband passed on, she had to scramble around to burying her husband. Now it's her. The pictures that I just showed you a little bit earlier on there, they show a narrative. The family might have been left to burying her by themselves. After that church isolated, being that rooted in that church. Okay? And so her husband passed away. She had to scramble around in order to bury, maybe some even go back to some of the people that she was made to abandon or no longer communicate much with. Bet you maybe they don't even do holidays she didn't even do holidays with them. She had to go back to them in order for her to. Now, the family had to now scramble around to make the funeral by themselves. I don't know, as I state, I don't know if the church did get involved later on. Now, I did mention that there was that video which they posted after she passed away, or announcing that she has passed away. Bazalani, go watch that video, you will see what I'm talking about. They chose to take a video where she's talking about loyalty to the church. They didn't take a video where she's talking about loyalty to the message of the cross or the gospel or God or Jesus. No, they use a message where she sounds like she's talking about isolation towards the church. After you isolated her to your church, to a point where she didn't have the audacity of these people. Unbelievers are very concerning. There are many of them. They start churches, they do what? You will think they are Christian. They are not Christian. I want to just say that for everybody else. Be careful what church you belong to. Because for me, those 3 pictures that I showed you earlier on, they tell me that they probably were not even getting involved. Same way when she had to bury her husband. Now, for a person like her, who was that staunch, even in a country, other people who die, people like us who just die, it's just that, But then there are people in the country that have such a significance to, like, our history or whatever. When they die, a state funeral is ordered. The church, the church, does the church have that? I'm talking about the core-rooted, like her. In the video, she's talking about church loyalty, being loyal, she's in this church and stuff like that. And so, Bazalani, be careful what church you belong to. Be careful what church you belong to, because some of you are in churches that are not Christian. They do not have the heart of Christ. They don't know what it looks like. You devote yourself there, they will abandon you the day you pass away. And there will be calls for people to be doing donations and stuff. Because why? For families to do donations. Because now that community that you so devoted yourself, that isolated you will not put their hands anywhere near there. For me, them posting a message talking about loyalty to the church, I thought that was just being dead to the tone. Like, go watch the video, you'll hear. She's literally just talking about, how dedicated she was and how, the dedication was not exactly biblical. Why isolate her? But that's what happened. That's what we've heard about Impact for Christ. Isolates people from their families and so forth. And so you've heard Sister talk about how she is actually isolated from a mother, or I think it's a mother or someone. It's not a new thing. Be careful what church you belong to. It's the Reality Show with Daily Christian commentary videos. Sometimes I get the stories and then it just takes a while for me to have that message, that particular. I talk about stories when they really touch me, like when I really get. And this one, I was sent a while ago, after it happened and so forth. Just actually when it was happening, when they were posting and all these things, that's when I knew about it. But it's today when I was looking around, I then remembered it. So I went to the page and then I watched that video for the first time. And that was the thing that kind of prompted me to making this particular episode. Be careful what church you belong to. Don't just be without a church, but be careful which church you belong to. It's Ricky, and I'll see you on a later one. Y'all have a good week.